Super excited to have one of our very own, Johnny Locklear, today on the Biz Talk, here to discuss the importance of client retention, which in my opinion is such a massive step in having a successful career in the nail business. We're going to talk about all the details right now on the Biz Talk. Johnny.
Habib.
Thank you for making your way. Johnny was twerking about 2 seconds ago. Am I lying or not?
It's not true.
It is. I have witnesses here. I've got Gio and Tracy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And I hear you can sing. Not only do nails, but you can sing. Is this true?
Some days.
Okay. One of these days, we're going to have to hear you just bust it out. I want to hear next show that we do.
Next show.
I'm
going to perform at my table.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And we're going to get it. We're going to vlog it. Right? We're going to vlog it. Johnny's here this week teaching OWC, which is like, I always say that's like our most prized possession in what we do at Young Nails. Johnny's one of our instructors. How long have you been with us now? It's been a while.
9 years.
Jesus. Has it really?
Mm-hmm.
And
I was young back then.
You love every second of it.
I do. I can't wait. Cannot wait.
We're going to go for 10, 11, 12. The reason why Johnny does these OWCs is because he is a successful tech. Johnny, one of the questions that I actually got at the Orlando show that we were both at just a couple weeks ago, I had somebody come and wanted me to talk about the importance of client retention. Okay, so like we always talk about building a successful clientele, but keeping the clients is a whole another game.
Yes, it is.
Right? And it's also a sign of like so many things. Like there's a lot to talk about here, but I wanted to ask you, like, what would you, if I were to ask you, like, hey, Johnny, I'm getting into nails. Okay, I'm getting a lot of clients in my door. How do I keep them? Like, what are some of the key things for you in client retention?
Well, obviously quality work.
Right.
Using quality product. You can go anywhere and have your nails done one time. Doesn't mean you're going to go back.
Sure.
Even in my business, I may do a person's nails one time. We don't vibe. They don't like what I do. They don't come back.
Right.
But retaining those clients year after year is going to be more important than getting them in the door one time.
Of course.
When they come in, you got to charm them, do great work, have a great personality, have a decorum with them, even if you don't like what they're saying.
Right.
You just smile and wave.
Well, okay, that's really interesting. So I feel like that's the big point that a lot of nail professionals, not even nail professionals, actually business people don't understand is that relationship. So like what happens in this situation? You have a client that walks in and is grumpy, is upset, like sits in your table and not being rude to you, like necessarily, but just kind of grumpy in their own world. And maybe you're trying to like vibe. Like, how do you deal with that? Like, are you just like, you know what? Screw her. Like, I'm going to be grumpy back. How do you deal with that?
You can't be grumpy back to them.
Right. But I think some
now I have clients that I've had for years and years and years. If they come in grumpy, I kind of check them, put them in their place.
Okay. But that's after
that's after a long time. I mean, I've had some of the same clients for 14 years.
That's insane.
So if a new client comes in and they're grumpy or they're standoffish or they want to read a magazine, I still try to engage them.
Yeah.
How's your day going? What do you have planned later? You know, what are you doing after this?
Right.
You know, that kind of thing. Are you going to dinner? Are you going to play soccer? You know, what are we doing today?
Are there some customers that just, they don't want to talk? Like they're like, you know what? I just want to sit.
Some people want to check out completely.
And like, so what do? Do you try to engage them? You vibe. It's not happening. You just let it go.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's a little uncomfortable because I normally talk to my client their whole appointment.
Right.
For me, it makes the time go by faster to engage that client and try to just kind of develop a rapport with them.
Yeah.
So that kind of quiet time is uncomfortable for me.
Sure.
And maybe that's what they need. So sometimes you just have to give them what they need, whether you feel like it's uncomfortable for you or not.
See, I can relate to you because I like to talk my head off, right? I like to, I'm a chit chat, like, like I need to. Like, as a matter of fact, 15 minutes ago, I literally walked out of the bathroom and my first word, Tracy, do it. Like, I don't stop. It's like I come out of the bathroom and I'm instantly engaging Tracy in conversation, which maybe some people think is weird, but I need to talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I like to have conversation. And for me, it's like that builds the relationship.
It does. It does. And not even necessarily conversation about life things or life events. It could be, what you have for lunch today.
Right.
Oh, it's a beautiful day outside.
Right.
What shall we do later?
Sure. Simple.
Easy. They're coming for a service and we provide a service, yes. But if you want to continue to have that person come time and time again, you have to develop some rapport, touch them on some basis where they're like, hey, I like them. I'm going to continue to go back. They do great work, but I still want to go back for all the other parts.
Right, right. This is really interesting to me because we always talk about how the nail business, it's a service business ultimately, right? And there are nail professionals that are introverts.
True.
It's funny. I'm like a blend of introvert, extrovert. Like I don't stop talking, but then on my downtime, I am off. Like Netflix, like I just totally zone out completely. But during work, like I love engaging, I love chatting, I love the camera, I love communicating with our customers in that way. What about for somebody that's an introvert? Like what advice would you give them if they said, Johnny, I'm not a talker, but I love nails.
Some people love what they do, and you may not have the personality, but I kind of think in our industry today, it is important for you to try your best to come out of whatever shell you're in.
Yeah.
I talk all day long. When I go home, I walk through my door, I go sit on my porch in the quiet.
You're done.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I do it for 10 hours,
Yeah.
11 hours, 12 hours. I'm done at the end of the day.
Right.
As far as an introverted personality, sometimes you still have to connect with that client on a level. Maybe
Right.
that will be the kind of clientele you garner is a client that is more like you. Maybe you have those clients that are introverted who don't want to talk when they come for a service. They want to come in, smile, hey, I want a pink and white, do your thing. You go sit in your corner.
Right, right. I actually love the idea of someone who's an introvert, but they are super passionate about nails. Like to challenge themselves. Like like you said earlier, let me break out of this shell. Like I need to try to expand, maybe to break out of their shell and practice the process. And how far, just being nice and kind to somebody when they come and sit in your chair, something as simple as that, right? That can open things up.
Yeah, they may have had a crap day before they got to you.
Right.
Right. The tire is flat, fight with their husband.
Right.
They come to you for a service, come sit down. All you got to do is smile and say, hey, how are you today?
Right.
You may not want to, because there's days where I don't want to be nice to anybody.
So how do you deal with that? That's really curious. Like service business, you come in, you're not feeling it. It happens all the time. How do you deal with that?
Just smile and wave your way through it.
You push through.
Yeah, you push through.
Yeah.
As someone once told me, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes. I love that saying. I think it's in any business, like especially the service business, but in any business, being uncomfortable is like you have to become extremely okay with that process of just like, God, this is not feeling right. But that to me, like if I have a bad day, I can come to Young Nails and like, maybe I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to shoot today. And if I wanted to, I could stay home. If I wanted to, I can hide in a hole. In the nail business though, you got to go in there and you have to communicate with people and you have to be nice. You can't be a jerk, right? What if you do good work? Okay. What if you're a phenomenal nail tech and you do incredible work, but you're kind of a jerk? Are you going to be able to build a clientele? Do you think you'll still be able to build a clientele? Like, and I'm talking like you're kind of rude and you think you're all that, and you're going to have a successful clientele?
I actually know people like that, unfortunately. And
I'm not talking about Greg.
Shh, is he here?
He's not here.
I know people like that, and they are successful in what they do. But then when you have someone who comes to you and says, I go to XYZ, and she is a you-know-what.
Right.
She does great work, but
Yeah,
She just is on her phone or worried about the next thing. I feel like I'm not getting what I need from that.
Right.
And I've had people come to me to say that about other people.
Sure. I feel like that's not just a long-term sustainable like
not.
model. You
It's
know what I
not.
mean? Versus somebody that does like, let's say, good work. Not this like insane, crazy art, like, but just does like good, very good work that lasts, but their service is phenomenal. They're so easy to connect with. They make the person feel special.
Right.
How would you say their chances are of building a business?
Their chances would be a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if I'm having a bad day or I want a service provided for me, I'm not going to go to somebody who's grumpy. I'm
Right,
not
of
going to go to
course.
somebody who acts like they're tired or who
right.
is uninterested in doing what I need.
Right.
I'm going to go to somebody who says, hey, you're getting your lashes tinted today. That's
Right.
awesome. Let's make them the blackest you've ever had them.
Right. Absolutely.
Even if they don't even care.
Right. Well, I feel like that's why, like, whatever is happening in their day, them coming to nail professional, it is their escape. And also, we talk about this a whole lot. You as the nail pro, you're also like a therapist. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, you're correct.
Like you, if
I
you're
feel like I should charge more per day, per hour.
100%. If you're getting into this business, for people that are just getting this business that don't quite like I just said that and they're like, what is he talking about? Like, walk me through that a little bit. Like, what do you hear? Issues, problems, like how far does this go?
It can go pretty far. Especially
Like you know a lot.
I know a lot. Some things I don't want to know. Just want to take my brain out, rinse it off, and put it back in. So especially when you establish that relationship with the client, whether they've
Right.
been coming to you for a year, 6 months, 14 years, 10 years, they feel like you're part of their family.
Right.
I have clients that treat me like I'm, somebody important in their life.
For sure.
So when they come in, they feel like if they're having a bad day, bad relationship moment, whatever, they feel like they can come in and just sit and be like, blah.
Right.
So you absorb all that energy. So that's also a hard part.
That's hard.
When you absorb everybody else's energy and you still have to stay positive and you still have to stay happy and still have to provide a consistent service. So you really have to be a strong person.
Yeah.
And you also have to know how to answer things just the right way.
Right.
So it's not being taken out of context.
Right.
You can't be like, no, let me tell you what to do.
Right.
You have to, yeah, oh my goodness, that's too bad. So you have to learn how to kind of shift yourself throughout the day because everybody's personality is going to be a hair different.
Right.
You're going to have those people who come in who are just off the chain crazy
Right.
and you're like, girl. Then you have the ones who come in and they're sad acting or their life is crap. So you have all those different personalities in one day's time most days.
Right. Like, this is the reality of being a nail professional, right? I feel like it's not really discussed in this kind of detail.
No,
but
it's not.
But it's real. It's like when if you're gonna
is a
go, you're
real
gonna
thing.
you're gonna sit in a chair. You got to get ready for this, and maybe even sort of enjoy that that level of connecting with the customer so much that that they do,
Yeah.
feel very comfortable speaking with you. But I would imagine there's a lot of joy in that type of connection. Having a client for 14 years, that's insane. Like, in order to do that, the relationship has to be so rock solid.
It does. Those people that I've had for that many years, as I said, will come in and we talk about our lives. They tell me about their children.
Yeah.
Some of them I know about their children and I've never seen them
Wow.
for years and years. But I feel like also in the same token, I could go to them and say, hey, I'm having this issue.
Right. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Does it work the other way around too?
It works the other way around as well, but you have to also think that's my client still.
Sure. Of course. Of
So
course.
you have to learn how to keep it professional, yes.
Right.
That balance between professionalism, being kind and courteous. You may have that one person that you can reach out to if you're having a moment.
Sure.
But for the most part, you are the one, that's kind of counseling everybody.
When we were like, I've talked about it so much, like at OWC when we're building Young Nails, the process of that. And one of the huge keys in the beginning for us was distribution, right? We had We had no name. Nobody who knew who we were. All we had was like our ability to connect with other distributors and people in other countries, build that trust to where they invest in our brand,
Right.
which helped us grow. So, and I feel like I haven't really talked about that a whole lot, but so much of business, no matter what business you're in, nails,
Communications,
manufacturing,
manufacturing, anything.
it doesn't matter, photography, whatever it is. The bottom line is that you've got to be able to connect and walk that fine line, right? Like you said, maybe not giving too much advice and pushing somebody in the wrong direction because they're still your client, but understanding how to navigate those waters, I think is like super huge.
Yeah.
Thank you, Johnny.
You're welcome.
I think your experience is insanely valuable.
Well, thank you.
Really, I mean that. And I think a lot of people will get a lot of value understanding like how to build a clientele, and also hearing, you've had customers for more than 14 years. That says a lot about you, your personality, you as a human being, and also your professional work. All of it, is just super solid.
Well,
So,
thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you for being on the Biz Talk. Would love to know if you have any advice. Please let us know in the comments below to share with people that are getting started in the industry about communication, about building these relationships with customers. How important is it for your business? That would be awesome. And with that, say thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week on the Biz Talk.